welcome back to The Watch. Oz, why do so many people on the extreme left hate us?
Us? Night's Watch?
As in, not just Night's Watch, I'm talking about straight white men, specifically. Why do they hate straight white men so much? Because they try and say it's about diversity, and they think straight white men get too much attention. And now, it will kind of make sense if the majority of your, fan base is straight white men. And they're the ones who are saying that, fans want to see themselves in media. It's actually not true. Like, straight white men don't need to see themselves in media. I've loved Jackie Chan movies my whole life. Didn't need to see myself. Okay. Blade, friggin' the original one. Awesome movie. What, has a black protagonist? Not even on my radar. That it doesn't mean anything that is black. He's a cool character. Okay. And if it just, was like, we want to be more diverse, that would be one thing. But no, it's actual hatred towards straight white men. It's not just like we want to see ourselves represented as they claim, which is already a little bit like, what do you mean you can't identify with people who don't look like yourself? And remember, like, the actress who played Deezer in Rings of Power, one of the main talking points that she was clearly fed, this is opinion, but I feel, that they were fed by Amazon, was to push the diversity thing. And she was literally saying that black, people couldn't identify with Lord of the Rings because they weren't represented in it. And it's like, according to that racist standard, you're saying white people shouldn't be able to identify with people that don't look like it. That's the horrific standard that they are pushing, this other side, right? So already the whole need to be represented, need to be seen is a racist standard. But then I clearly, when I say clearly, I've got examples where they hate straight white men. Purely for the sake of being straight and white, that there is something negative, wrong, something to be criticized, derided for being straight and white.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, as always, there's a lot of reasons. Ultimately, you can kind of see the reasons why when you look at the groups that aren't straight white males that also cop the same treatment, like Asian males.
Asians get a lot of criticism and attack, and I think it's because of a perceived representation of who holds power.
Yes,
and
that's
also where it comes down to.
Also because they've done surveys, and white people and Asian people are the two least threatening.
In the surveys, interesting.
Least threatening.
So, what's really disheartening about this, right? They think they perceive that straight white men are all in all these positions of power, okay, and that there's something wrong with that, because they feel opportunities was robbed to other individuals when the opportunity to seek career paths and everything like that, we are in a more free and open and there's more accessibility to education and opportunity in our world today than at any other time in human history. But they want to try and claim there is systemic racism, bigotry in the system that is preventing people from smaller groups from attaining these positions, when they don't seem to understand that, hang on, if these groups are minorities, right, wouldn't the percentage, per capita kind of like results be that the same percentage diversion of people in CEO position would pan out the same? Which we were actually kind of seeing a bit towards the end of the 90s, where it was just meritocracy, and where we're seeing, women CEOs starting to rise up, black people in leading roles in Hollywood and stuff, because it was a natural evolution of, as Morgan Freeman said, stop talking about it and you'll see like a black person win awards or anything like that, because that's the natural flow. But the other side, this extreme side, they actually don't want equal representation, but that's based on, is it per capita is what I'm trying to say, where if you have so many percentage of, white people, black people in society, to be actually, properly representative, right? Wouldn't you expect to see the same percentages of, so everyone who is white or black in that percentage gets equal opportunity to that? The thing is, though, equal opportunity does not lead to equal outcomes.
In fact, it's the opposite way.
You can't achieve that. People are different, okay? And so you will never get equal representation of men and women in certain industries because certain industries appeal to men and women differently.
And they found in Scandinavia, this is a Jordan Peterson one, that it's actually the opposite. And that basically things go the opposite. Of
if you give
trying to
people
stay.
true freedom to choose what they want in life without any coercion, the divide and differences in what paths men and women take end up being pronounced even more. Shock horror. A lot of women actually really like having children, raising a family. That there is something connected with them about nurturing that gives them tremendous fulfillment for being a motherhood. But that is enslavement, and they need to have a sucky, crappy full-time job working at a desk because that'll give them more fulfillment, Oz.
Yeah.
Like,
doing what comes naturally and is biological imperative, that's slavery.
That's
right?
slavery.
But follow our ideology to the letter, otherwise you're a racist, we'll destroy you, all that stuff.
And it goes like, you know that clip, the I don't want to be independent girl?
I don't know that one.
You don't know that? No.
I signed out for a while.
Okay. We gotta show you. Oz has never seen this. This is going to be a moment. Are you ready, Oz?
You women from the 60s really messed up my life goals. You didn't want to stay at home and clean the house, take care of the kids, have dinner ready for your husbands when they got home from work. That is all I want to do. But no, you thought everyone wanted to be independent. I don't. I don't want to be independent. So now here I am, going to school, because I'm ready to go to college and get them a job in education. Women.
Dare I say based?
Dare I say based? That a lot of women, like raising a family and having a loving husband supporting and providing for them is a dream. Sometimes working a job friggin' sucks. It's interesting though, men get this innate satisfaction when they are providing for people. Like men get this masculine, pride in being able to take care of people. And suddenly, when men are willing to do some pretty sucky jobs, heavy lifting, everything like that.
Die?
If it even die, you're right. If it's achieving something, a purpose that gives them fulfillment as a man, right? And so men will go to the coal mines, right? And they will do this backbreaking job because there's a family that they love their children, they're supporting them, and it gives them satisfaction, all right? I'm not saying women can't get that, but it's more pronounced in men. And so men, will do the sucky jobs and bear the burden usually without, in fact, that can give them fulfillment. Where a lot of women who are going into the workforce finding they're getting depressed. It sucks.
Yep.
And of course, women going to the workforce oftentimes prevents them from getting the family. And it's interesting how family gives purpose to men and women. And it can provide purpose for men in the workforce, but oftentimes because women are the ones who have to bear children, for them to raise a family, they often need to leave the workforce.
Yep.
Okay.
And the fact that only women can give birth, right? Yet they're only getting 70%, on the dollar. And again, it's not a correct thing.
70%, yeah.
But like as in, it's not because of sexism that's the case. It's not because people are being illegally paid less. There's hundreds of completely reasonable factors.
Oh yeah.
But the fact that they're still getting that 73% is pretty bloody good.
Well, the thing is, though, look, we have to clarify, just for the clarification's sake, is if you actually look at women who are getting paid for the same hours worked in the same industries, they're getting paid equivalent. It's just that women naturally gravitate towards working less hours and career paths that pay less.
And they ask for wages less, they're more agreeable.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
like all those things. But when you actually look at it honestly, instead of taking the gross amount women earn in a year versus the gross amount men earn in a year, and there's a difference, it's like, no, there's no inequality. There's nearly no inequality in a lot of Western nations because we have laws against discrimination in this front, right? And this is why there's such a push in feminism for women to get in STEM, because STEM fields lead to earning more money. So science, technology, engineering, math. That's where they want. But women aren't as naturally inclined to enjoying those pursuits. Some women are, all power to them, but not most women. It's just that's something that men, why do you think, guess what? Men usually better at chess. We didn't ask for it. It just happens to fall into that way. Yeah, there are some women chess champions. Good on them. All power to them. But for the most part, it's just a natural reality. Now, this evolves into, of course, men, on average, sometimes, not only earning more money, but they can get into those positions of leadership more often. And that is wrong. Meritocracy is wrong. We have to forcefully re-engineer society
nature,
to force more women into it, even if they're unqualified. Now, then it bleeds over. Because this thing, even though these so-called positions of power might be perceived, because I'm not even sure that's the case anymore, right, of being filled by predominantly straight white men, right? Is that most straight white men in the world? Do most straight white men have positions of power and earning huge amounts of money?
No.
No.
But also white people are a global minority as well. So
in fact, let's just look at just most men in the world, right? They're not in this cream of the crop 1% billionaire. Like most men are just average Joes trying to earn a living. Yet, because the perception of straight white men being in positions of power, they now hate all straight white men, guys like us. It's like, what did we do to even though the people in the position of power didn't do anything in particular to earn this hatred, right? But now they throw it to all straight white men. All straight white men are the problem. Yep. And they have this insane, unhinged hatred. Like, legitimately, they celebrate when straight white men do not get jobs in preference of other minorities, even when these guys could come from just as much disadvantaged backgrounds as other people, right? There is actual discrimination happening in the world, systemic discrimination, okay, against straight white men, and it's celebrated. So look at this. This is a former Blizzard developer. Bragging her new game features no white male characters. That's an odd thing to celebrate.
Yeah.
This is from the Quartering. It's like, hey, that's totally fine, but since representation matters, I am told, I guess I just don't see myself in the game, so I won't be buying it. But this is what Irina Pereira. Just wait, and so she says, just wait until they notice that none of our straight characters in our alpha build are white males. 9 out of 6. Now she's saying that one, it's like, I bet it's going to trigger people, and I want to trigger people. And look at the emoji, like laughing with a hand over. So she is gleeful in her racism that it's going to be upsetting the people she dislikes, straight white men, and she is proud, and it's something to celebrate that there is no straight white men in it.
Well, it's not entirely racism. It's also sexism.
It is also sexism. Yeah, you're right. And they are openly racist and sexist, and they are happy about it, and they celebrate it, and they are happy that it upsets people.
Yep.
Right?
Because they can get away with it.
And they are going out of their way to do it. This is intentional. Admitted intentional. This is someone working for Blizzard. Big game developing company there.
Yep.
They are literally celebrating sexism and racism.
Yep.
Like, and you wonder why. And by the way, it's not straight white men having an issue with this. Anyone who's actually against racism and sexism has an issue with this. It's like, you guys, you people are racist. You're scum. And you're celebrating this and trying to promote it.
Yep.
Right? And this is like an epidemic almost in not only modern day AAA gaming development and everything. It's in media. It's in Hollywood. Okay.
Institutions like government and stuff like that.
It's going everywhere, and it's this hatred against straight white men, and it's insane. And so Arena, right? She tries to backtrack and do damage control, and Grums calls her out. Grums finds out that he actually used to either work with this person or he knows them and everything, but he says, well, this sucks. I found out that I at least knew one of the devs on Haven, and she was a good one, apparently. I can only recommend that the studio founders retract her anti-male, anti-white, anti-gamer stance and let her game succeed. One of the ways you do that is like not work with avowed, explicit, racist, sexist like this, right? Blabs is the co-host on Side Scrollers, loves Side Scrollers, and she says in response to the, just wait until you find out there's no straight women, she's like, imagine if you wrote black males, how would that look? Quality, not equity. And then she's like, considering that 90% of the video game characters are white and male, I was like, oh, why didn't you say that to begin with? Why are you suddenly trying to change a tune? It's because it's not looking good, okay? It's like, no, you specifically chose to emphasize the fact that the main characters, there's no white men, and you were happy about it. And so...
Oh, it was just a social experiment.
Oh, yeah.
Just a prank, bro.
Just a prank, bro. And so Grum says, So Haven Game Maker is besties with Kotaku's Alyssa McCunty. Remember her?
Old McCunty, yep.
You can't be racist to white people, Alyssa McCunty. Look at them getting along. It's like, also, if you personally know any decent popular gaming personality streamers who have seen a meteoric rise in popularity shortly after adopting more reactionary views, DM email. So Alyssa is on a crusade to try and out radicalized people, it seems like. And then she, Arena, she comes in wanting a bit of attention. She's like, let's see how my crap storm pans out. Talking about female biology is apparently an extremist position. It's like, hang on, you weren't doing that. You were celebrating the fact that there were no straight white men in your game.
Yeah.
So she's also trying to gaslight and reframe what she was saying. Okay?
You're allowed to take steps back, but you're not allowed to call us liars. So...
And these are other things that she says. 2 women sharing intimate stories about getting our periods in the GDC 24 merch store is the state of the game industry.
I would actually completely agree with that. That is the exact state.
Yes.
One of them has to be gay, though. One of them has to be black.
The thing is, though, she's saying that as a thing to be celebrated. We're saying that, yes, this is an example of this is why Blabs, which is like, this is a parody, right? Like because we would agree with you, not for the thing you say. There's like no fully serious. And then Blabs follows up. Shouldn't the GDC be talking about, I don't know, gaming instead of periods and screeching at the sky? Good point, Blabs. We agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So she is,
Insane.
cozying up to Alyssa McCunty, the Kotaku, you can't be racist against white people journalist, right? And something else interesting came out about Alyssa, and it goes into this whole hating straight white men. Now, if you think that this is all about diversity, take a look at this. Okay, so this is an interesting one. She has a tattoo on her leg. Guess what it says?
I don't know. What does it say? All men are the enemies?
All men are enemies. An all men are enemies tattoo from the most attention-seeking racist Kotaku journalist in the world. I'm surprised a red circle and squelch over the phrase cisgender heteronormative patriarchy wasn't the first choice. All men are the enemies. Like, these are insane racists. Right? Well, now also insane sexist. So she's already outed herself as an insane racist. You can't be racist to white people. Now she's insane sexist. It's all men are enemies.
That means black men too.
Black men too.
That means Indian men and Asian men too.
Oh my gosh, this person is vile. And she is loving the attention. Now she's trying to just cope and double down. It's like, isn't it great? I'm triggering. It's like, you are showing yourself to be a truly vile person. This is not the own or win that you think it is.
Yeah.
You will be remembered in history as a vile, sexist racist that has only been serving and pushing to divide society and ruin, society and the gaming industry.
That's if she's remembered at all.
Yeah.
That's just one more in the pile.
She'll be forgotten. But that's the type of people, right?
I mean, I don't think she's going to have any kids.
So remember this lady, Oz, the I don't work with white people.
Huh.
Or because she only has, she doesn't hire white people because she hired white people, they would say microaggressions.
They would say microaggressions?
Yeah,
they'd say the word microaggression.
No, they would just make microaggressions that would make her working environment feel unsafe.
Huh.
Did I react to this with you?
I can't remember.
Well, you're good at excising it from your mind then.
I try to ignore these people as much as possible.
Yeah. Well, that's what she said, right? And so then she tried to damage control and say, no, I don't have a problem with white people. In fact, we've even hired white people after this.
I've got white friends. I can't be racist.
It's like, and by the way, like, having white friends is like, okay, how do you treat them? What do you say about them? I think that's, and she says, that she doesn't want to hire, but then guess what happens, right? She was claiming that it was all misinformation, according to Grum's Mark Kern, and claims she doesn't hate white people. Then she immediately gets called out by an ex-friend and co-developer. And this is what they said. She says the video is a bit outdated, and she's trying to say, I don't like, so Nowhere in the video did I say we don't hire white people. You said that you didn't hire white people. You don't have white people there. That's what, or that she hates white people. Okay, so say, I don't hate white people, former associate. Danny, you used to be a very good friend to me, but you have stopped taking accountability and being careful with how you navigate public online spaces. This is to say, you are not careful with your wording and how you go about spreading certain messages. I don't believe it is true when you say you want your team to be safe. You have failed to do so with us, your first group. And then she says, you put a F white people on the graphic of the character I designed, and it put many to all of us in jeopardy. I was being stalked and would have episodes going, and then she goes on to explain. But okay, I don't hate white people. Then she literally puts F white people, she does, on one of the characters. But she doesn't hate white people, Oz. But F white people. Like, really?
I think she might not be telling the truth here.
I think she might not be telling the truth. It just keeps coming, doesn't it?
It just keeps coming.
Like, the gaming industry is entrenched and just overflowing with racists like this, right? And it all comes down to the diversity, the whole push for diversity. All it means is anti-straight white men.
Yep.
That's what their diversity means.
It used to be...
And maybe Asians thrown into the mix sometimes.
True, because they do work hard. It used to be just the COD lobbies. You know, maybe the occasional Minecraft thing, because a lot of stuff happens in Minecraft, but now it's the devs too.
And they keep just exposing themselves again and again, all right? And the answer is, you don't need to support people like this. And if you find that they're working on games, you don't need, like, there are plenty of other good games. AA is on the rise, and we're just going to come back to that. Don't harass them. Don't send me messages or anything. Just vote with your wallet.
Could the quadruple A industry collapsed pretty quickly?
I don't get it.
Oh, because the guys who did the CEO of EA was like, Skull, what was the pirate game?
Yeah, it was some pirate game.
Yeah. That was quadruple A, the first quadruple A game ever. Okay.
Yeah, good luck
me.
with that. It's like, is that the scale, just how much money they waste on it, not the quality.
Yeah, I'd say that is.
Seems to be.
Yeah.
Seems to be. So, there we go. Elisa Mercante, she outs herself as a sexist now. And this other, activist, Arena Pereira, working for Blizzard as well, celebrate. And they have exposed themselves that this isn't about diversity. It's all about straight white male hate due to a misidentifying or, I guess, misperception on straight white men being in control of everything, when most straight white men, they're average guys, just trying to get by.
The fact of the matter is, inclusion is the exact same thing as exclusion, because to include some people means you have to exclude others.
Inclusion for the sake of reaching certain quotas, you have to exclude people. Yeah, but that's the goal. Is like they don't want actual equality. They want supremacy.
Yeah,
that's the key. And that has been outed again and again. They don't want just an equal representation of straight white men and, minorities. They want most straight white men thrown out. And we see examples like Wheel of Time with how they treated the male characters versus the female characters. Yeah. Feminist Monopoly, where they only pay 200 to women and men don't get paid. That's not equality.
Did you see there was a article that came out from one of these people during Black Panther, and it was like... Black Panther, 99% black cast, the most diverse movie ever.
It's like, but that's not equality. So that's what it means. Diversity is their own kind of phrase.
Dog whistle, maybe.
I don't like using their language because it justifies them, because the whole dog whistle thing is annoying. Yeah, but they are using it. Like, diversity is just it's a synonymous phrase for anti-straight white male sexism and racism on their side. That's what they use it mean. Oh my gosh, it's hilarious to see them continually expose themselves, and we will keep covering it because that's what we do. Stay on watch.